to another edition of the Holden Village podcast. We are in what week are we in? Week 11 of our 2023 summer program. We have a special guest. Many of you know by now that a fire has diverted a lot of the PCT hikers this summer to our village. And so we've had the honor and the blessing to know these travelers as they are on their journey. And I have with me Monkey, one of our fellow hikers. How would you like to introduce yourself and perhaps what's been the best thing about your trek that has happened to you?
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Monkey. The best thing that has happened so far on my trip, there has been so many, so it's hard to choose one, but...
You can do 3 if you want.
3, okay. Well, discovering this village has been very special. I think this place is so incredible, like I wasn't expecting that at all.
I know it's strange to just like meander into a village.
I know, it's
in the
like
middle of nowhere.
4 days in the middle of nowhere and then suddenly you're in this village and it's like, whoa, what's happening? But it's so cool. So that for sure. And also the Sierra. There was a lot of snow there this year, so that was super cool to go through. Yeah, it was amazing. So remote, like being in there for stretches of 10 days and like not seeing anyone was insane.
Were you prepared for the snow?
Nah, not totally prepared, I would say. I was prepared, but like I didn't know what to expect really also at the same time.
Sure.
So.
You talked about this briefly while we were having lunch together. How did the idea of hiking the PCT come to you?
Yeah, actually I studied over here in the US. I'm from the Netherlands. But I studied at UP, University of Portland in Oregon. So I found out about the PCT while I studied there. And then I went back to the Netherlands and I did my master's. And after my master's I was like, yeah, now is the time to do something that I would normally not do. Like I have the time now to do something like some sort of big adventure. I had the PCT still in my mind and I was thinking, yeah, I think now is the time to do it. So
wonderful.
Yeah, that's how the idea was born.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and at the same time I was like thinking that I wanted to give my hike a bigger purpose. So I didn't only want it to be me hiking. So I came up with this project, it's called PCT. And at the same time that I'm hiking, I'm fundraising money to plant a forest in the Netherlands. So
woohoo!
Yeah,
yay!
More trees.
Yeah, so PC Tree.
Yeah,
that's what you said,
Tree.
Right? Okay, so remember that, all you listeners. Help fund the PC Tree project by Monkey, and we're gonna create forests in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Excellent. What would be your dream job or dream gig right now? Think big, think like outside the box, like whatever.
I've been thinking about that a lot during hiking actually. I think there's not really one thing that I would like to do the rest of my life, but maybe try out different things. But like at home I run, so I like it would be my dream to be a professional runner and spend time outside, I think, or like run in the mountains. That would be amazing, and at the same time tying some sort of project to that, I think, to either empower people or bring people closer to nature, I think, so contribute to the world in a positive way.
I love that. So what inspired the running in your life?
Oh, I was really young actually. I was like 6 years old, and in my village that I lived, we always had this competition, beginning of the summer, and it would be like running a lap around the town. And I participated in that every year, and I really loved that, just running. And then at home we would like practice with my 2 siblings. We would like run around the barn because I grew up on a farm. We would like run there in the evening, a lap or 2 around it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's
so
awesome.
I just really liked that, and then that kind of sparked my interest for running, I think. And then it was really cool where I grew up. We didn't have a track or anything, so we just go into the forest and just run there and play, and like the coach was super fun, and we would play all these kind of games in the forest. So yeah, it was just really a good time. And then over time that kind of developed and I got more into competition, and but still the aspect, I think, of being outside and being in nature and having time to think, it's like a meditation that I really like. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's awesome. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being Dutch? Like, what's the favorite thing about your homeland? Like,
about my homeland.
this is, you get to plug in like all the cool things.
Social Security.
Social Security, excellent.
Free healthcare system.
Right, which we don't know what that's like here.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That's a total bummer. We're all moving to the Netherlands after this.
I think also the openness of the country, like acceptance of whoever you are. Like there's just a really big LGBTQ plus community.
Beautiful.
And that's also openly celebrated, so I think that's really nice. Yeah, the legislation of drugs I think is pretty a good thing.
Yeah.
It, like just being so progressive and having so many things open and having people being so free, I think brings a lot of nice things.
I've only passed through the Netherlands, and mainly it was like the airport, because like getting to India, you had to go through Amsterdam on KLM.
That's a big airport.
Yes, it is. But I would love to be able to explore it.
Should.
In more
It's
detail.
nice. It's cute. It's small. No mountains. But,
No, right. That's okay.
but it's nice.
What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? Mostly people. I just love being around people and meeting new people. And that just makes me smile, I think. Or
That's wonderful.
just seeing an act of kindness or feeling love from someone, I think that's something that makes me very happy.
That's fantastic.
Actually, during hiking, I've been laughing sometimes when like friends would send me like voice messages and I download them in town when I have like internet, but I don't listen to anything.
Sure.
I save that for a while I'm hiking, and then sometimes like when I get too caught up in my thoughts, I like listen to them and they are so funny, I think. So then I have to like laugh sometimes in the middle of nowhere. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
You bring up a new question for me. You know, when you're hiking and you're alone, you are often in your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, hiking kind of becomes this way of dealing with the things that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of therapy in that way as well. Do you feel like you've learned a lot about yourself?
Yeah, I think so. There's just, I've been hiking since April 9, so it's just a really long
It's
time.
August 23rd right now. So
Yeah.
just to give you some context, people.
So it certainly has been a lot of time to think. And in the beginning, I didn't listen to anything. No music, no podcast, nothing. And that like until like 2,000 miles into the hike, I held that up. And then I just started to get so in my thoughts and sometimes even bored that I needed something. So then I
Sure.
listened sometimes to music or podcast, which can be really nice also.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about myself, I think, and what I value in society also, and what I want to do with my life. But yeah, sometimes people think, or maybe I also thought that like hiking could like solve your problems maybe in a way.
Yeah, right.
But, like,
You're gonna be enlightened after that.
but it really doesn't. But you do have time to think, so that's nice. So just about yourself and what are your traits and characteristics, and what would be good things to like change about yourself, or
Totally.
yeah, you just get certain insights also, so that's really nice, but it doesn't solve the questions that you maybe have
Right.
about life or yourself. So
I love that you said that, because that's a funny thing for me as well. Like that makes me laugh, because we often think of all these things like, you know, oh, we'll just do this thing and all of our problems will be solved.
Yeah.
You know, we'll do this pilgrimage or whatever, and then it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
Like it's often like the things that are least expecting. Like those are the moments when things happen. Have you seen the movie The Way by any chance?
No, what's it about?
It's about the Camino de Santiago. This father does this pilgrimage because his son had died on the pilgrimage. And so he just wants to go through the route and just kind
Yeah.
of see like what his son saw. And he just meets a lot of people along the way. And, you know, they're all doing that pilgrimage to like, you know, solve all their biggest problems. Like, you
Yeah,
know, one
I
person
know.
wants to quit smoking, one person like wants to, you know, all these things. And in the end, like none of them are happening. But you could tell there's a deeper sense of wisdom.
Yeah.
But those things that they initially went in for, it wasn't about that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's funny.
Yeah, I think that's true, yeah.
How is the tea treating you?
Good. I feel like it makes me smile.
It makes you smile. Ah, excellent. See? So let me
Yes.
let me tell you a little bit about that.
Yes, please.
So real tea, the best kind of tea, releases an amino acid in your brain called L-theanine. So the letter L dash theanine.
Yes.
And it's an amino acid that promotes both relaxation and focus simultaneously. So it's often associated with, meditative kind of activities or creativity in general. It's also an adaptogen, so if you're really tired, it will help you sleep. Or
yeah,
if you need
I also feel like I want to sleep.
Yeah, totally. And that means it's going to help your body do what it needs to do.
I thought it had caffeine in it.
It does, but like I said, as an adaptogen, it will adapt to your biology.
Ah, really?
So
Wow.
it also promotes laughter. So
Really?
Absolutely. You said it makes you smile. That's what it does.
Yeah. Oh, funny. And what's the cat about? We talked about this.
So you can also feed Grumpy Kitty. So if there's anyone that you wish were here with you in this moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can feed Grumpy Kitty and then invoke their spirit, in your heart, and then Grumpy Kitty will make that happen. Grumpy Kitty is a magical creature.
We'll make that happen, that the person comes here.
Well, in the etheric realm, Grumpy Kitty is also made from a very specific type of clay that's unglazed. So you can season it like a skillet.
Yeah.
So every tea that's ever been poured on it, it absorbs. And so if
Really?
you feed your tea pet really good tea, it becomes this really charged charm as well. So it's like a good luck charm as well.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah. Most of them are like Chinese zodiac. It could be like whatever you want. But I saw this fat Grumpy Kitty and I was like, I need you right now in my life. So Grumpy Kitty's pretty famous in the village right now.
Really?
Yeah. It's also like my avatar. So I channel Grumpy Kitty whenever I can.
Cool. And the little pebble?
So I live in Lodge 6, and there's a great patio on the second floor.
Yeah.
And people were doing art projects up there, and this was left like 2 weeks ago, and it was never claimed. So it became absorbed into the tea practice.
That's cool.
On Fridays, which is tomorrow, I do a tea and poetry session with the village. We read poetry and just kind of converse and reflect and laugh and smile and all those things. And
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Sometimes I think of poems while I hike. I find hiking very inspirational time. Like to
Totally.
write, like just suddenly, like while you're hiking, suddenly like a lot of thoughts come up and like it's just, wow, I can write a little story about this or like a little poem. Sometimes I do that. Yeah, it's nice. I never really had that before. Well, maybe with running, then I also have a lot of inspiration, but it's interesting to see when you're like out there in nature and have so little stimuli that you like start to be like more creative, I feel
Yeah.
like, or getting more inspiration. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
What genre of like story do you enjoy?
Oh. I like to read a lot about psychology, like different like psychology books or about positive psychology, about nature. I read, for example, a book is called Braiding Sweetgrass. I saw it in the store here too.
It's in the library too.
Yeah. I like those kind of books and like self-help books also.
Wonderful.
Because they just give a certain perspective on life or like on society, so I find that interesting. So yeah, I think those kind of
Beautiful.
books. Yeah.
So since you're into self-help,
Yeah.
this is a little more of a vulnerable question that you can answer in any which way.
Yep.
What's one thing that you're trying to let go of?
I think that what I learned also in this hike is to let go of like pushing myself. Like I'm pretty good at like pushing myself and being hard for myself. And that can be good, and it's also my strength, but it's also at the same time my weakness, I think, because sometimes you can push yourself so much in like a lot of different ways that it gets unhealthy.
Do you burn out?
Yeah,
Often?
for example, with
Yeah.
hiking, like, I mean, there's nothing else really to do, and you can just hike the whole day, but it's also good for the body to rest and to enjoy and to stop and take time to let everything sink in or go for a swim, like all this kind of things, or take a rest day. And I think that's like this element of myself that I try to let go of, but not totally, because it's also like a strength to be able to push yourself through hard times,
Yeah.
but like find a good balance in that, I think.
Well, it's great that you've discovered meditation along your
Yeah.
journey as well, because that's a great equalizer. If you have that kind of type A personality, tea is a great way
Yeah, I
of...
really like this.
Wonderful.
Like the setting and like the ritual with it.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
very beautiful.
There we go.
The cat needs to be fed.
Oh, absolutely. The cat gets very grumpy.
Yeah, with all that hot water over it, I would get grumpy too.
Well, ice cream is on our radar, listeners. So
Yes.
we are going to be closing this out and meandering to the snack bar, which the Porch Pirates. So the Porch Pirates, do you know who they are?
Well, not really. I saw them, but what is
They-
their story?
There every summer there's we received a grant that allowed us to renovate a lot of the porches around the village. And so the Porch Pirates they're like the structural engineers. And so today they've decided that they're going to fund ice cream for everyone today. So ice cream is because of the Porch Pirates. So shout out to Porch Pirates.
Yeah.
And yeah.